My Discord just randomly has
No.
the webcams and everything are having lag spikes. I'll just pretend it's not happening.
Yes.
As long as it's not happening
It's
on the
not.
recording side, we're
It's
fine.
not. It, it's not Brandon if he's not having tech issues of some sort.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, dude. It's a problem.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Conversations on a Broken Couch. My name is Nathaniel and I'm joined by Scott and Brandon. We've decided to change up the format of the show starting with this episode. Rather than talk about what it is we've been doing the past 2 weeks, we've each brought a discussion topic that we'll work through in addition to whatever rabbit trails we end up going down like normal. But first, how are we doing? We've been on call
Doing
for
good
a
now.
little bit here, but we still haven't even asked that to each other, so we might
I'm
as well.
feeling good. I'm keeping my cat from getting into things that she probably shouldn't be getting into. Because we
Yeah.
have yet to unpack our office.
Wait, you've been living there for how long and you still haven't unpacked your office?
8 months? 9 months? Almost 9 months.
You gotta
But yeah.
you gotta figure that out.
I don't. You're right. I do need to figure it out. But
Not trying to be mean or
when I
anything.
get to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
My
like I
man,
need to call
you
my
gotta-
grandma.
Yes, you do. Did you call her yesterday after we got off
I
the
didn't
phone?
know. I got busy.
Dang it, Scott.
Bro.
I got busy I got busy talking to a friend, and then I had to immediately go do chores because we got
Chores
my
can wait.
brother-in-law coming
Give
this
Grammy
week.
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah.
verbal hug.
So,
Chores can
working
wait.
on
You
it.
need to love your grandmother.
No, I do
Yeah.
love her. She's great. I just haven't talked to her in a while.
You need
What about you,
to-
Brandon?
Me? I finished moving officially. It's over.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's all done. No more moving. I have a big room. I exist.
Camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
camera's
camera.
back. And he fixed his mic.
Yeah, everything's
Microphone.
great, guys. You know, less janky.
Yeah.
It's not me if it's not tech issues, as Nate said shortly before we started.
Yeah.
I
It's,
feel like I can actually
not Brandon
focus
if he
this
doesn't have
time
tech
because I'm not
issues.
playing a game.
Yeah, I'm back on the game so that Scott can focus on having a conversation with us.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
hard,
it's hard.
man.
It's hard. Yeah.
You're a legend because you can do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, but like I was explaining to my stepdad the other day, I was like, yeah, I can hold a conversation with you, play a video game, and, listen to an audiobook at the same time, right? But what I can't do is deal with disorganization. So like moving and work stuff moving and just things not being, uh, what would I say? Things just not being standard and disorganized have been messing me up these last few weeks. It's weird. It's like, yeah, my superpower is ADD brain, but it also is my biggest kryptonite.
Well, I don't think it's all ADD brain. I mean, I feel like it's something I'm pretty good at is being able to play something and talk. But I think that comes from my like playing music and leading worship and being able to like play an instrument and sing and be managing like a band at the same time and thinking about what are we playing next and what's the next thing, and trying to do dynamics and all that stuff, and worrying about like reacting to people in the room and stuff like that. Um, John Mayer, I think it was when someone was asking him like, "How are you able to play so good and perform at the same time?" And I think it was like he said something along the lines of he literally just the way he got good at that is he would play guitar while talking on the phone and watching TV. That's literally how he
Wow,
trained
that's
himself.
great.
Is he just like when he could do all three like easily?
It is a
that's when
trainable
he
skill.
was. Yeah.
It is certainly a trainable skill. It's just not an easy one to train, as
So I
John
just
Mayer
need
just.
to train in this.
All right, Scott, Rocky 3 montage ready?
Do it.
Yeah.
Play the music. Cue montage. That would have to be a bit we'd have to set up months in
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah.
No, we're doing it live. I keep
No,
looking
but
at
we
my
need
other
to-
monitor because that's
we
where your
need to get
faces
Scott
are, but
in
my
the-
camera's right there.
Get Scott to drink the rotten egg and run up the stairs and
Oh my
Why the
gosh.
that
rotten
stuff.
egg?
Slap the meat.
Not the raw
in the
egg. Sorry, the
freezer.
raw egg. The raw egg. Not the
The
raw
raw
egg.
egg. Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Rotten egg. What the
Oh, that
heck?
sounds horrible.
That's how eggs work.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
What have
Well,
you been up to, Nate?
today, I did the dishes.
Cool.
Uh,
Legend.
posted on X about video from yesterday and Final Fantasy IX. So the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX is July 7th, and Square officially today came out with a website that's like the Final Fantasy IX 25th anniversary, and it's got all this other stuff and all these things they're releasing, and it's like this huge deal. And everyone's going, wait, Final Fantasy IX remake? Because a few years ago there was an Nvidia leak that had like 10 unreleased games on it, like a bunch of which were from Square, and they've since come out. Except for Final Fantasy IX and a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. And so everyone's like, oh,
Oh
man,
my
the Final
gosh.
Fantasy IX remake is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's the 25th anniversary. And I think that might actually be true because Square has been releasing a Final Fantasy game every year pretty much for most of the franchise, but especially for the past few years we had Remake, and then we had 16, and then we had Crisis Core, and then we had Reunion, and then Endwalker might have been before Remake, and then Dawn Trail's in there somewhere. Dawn Trail might have
Yeah.
been this last before Reunion,
It
maybe
was,
something like that.
I think I
Before
can look it up later.
not Reunion, before Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But they don't have a Final Fantasy game set to come out this year, so everyone's thinking, oh, might be nine. So I read about that and did my laundry and a bunch of other stuff and worked on some scripts, and yeah, it's been good. I've just been working and having a good time, and yeah, good day.
Sweet.
Good.
Any new game releases you're excited about?
I would totally be excited about Final Fantasy IX, but
I think he was
I
very
would totally
clear about
play
that. He's very
I haven't
excited.
played it yet,
Yeah.
so I totally. It's people say it's the best. They say like 7. Because 9 celebrated everything that came before. It was like the last game too that I think that Hironobu Sakaguchi like worked on the most too, the creator of Final Fantasy. So yeah, a lot of people like that game. But Metroid Prime 4, that looks interesting. Samus is psychic now. Didn't expect that. I assumed thered be some gimmick. I don't know that I
like that she
wanted
has
there
a
to
third
be.
eye now.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Then Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. That's cool. I'm planning to play the third one eventually. A lot of people in America don't know much about Dragon Quest, but in Japan, Final Fantasy versus Dragon Quest was like the thing for many, many, many years. And it's what actually Dragon Quest 1 being successful was what actually proved to Square that RPGs could be people would actually like RPGs again, because there were a few people that really wanted to make an RPG, and they started like working on Final Fantasy, but Square was like, it's gonna bomb. But then Dragon Quest came out, and we're like, we're gonna support you, make the game, which is super funny. So I want to play those eventually, just because they're legendary games, and the way they've been remastered looks really cool. But I'm really excited about the new Marvel beat 'em up. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's
Cosmic Invasion.
Yeah, it's by the same guys that made Shredder's Revenge.
I've seen a lot of
Didn't they
people
also
getting
do Power
excited about
Rangers?
that game.
I don't think they made the Power Rangers one. I'll look it up. I
Oh.
think that was a different group, but what were you saying,
Yeah,
Brandon?
it looks funky.
Yeah, it said they have like 15 heroes or something. So that's
Really? I only
a
thought
lot.
it was the 7 that they showed in the
Wolverine
trailer.
and Spider-Man, and yeah, Power Rangers was a different group.
Okay. Yeah, it was like Nova and Captain America,
yeah.
Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Venom.
I saw Storm.
And then
What a mix.
Storm. I know, it's weird.
There was
It's
this other
kinda
lady
cool.
I couldn't recognize. She had like a sword. Like, it looked like she had a laser sword.
I don't know who it was either.
Yeah.
I feel like I should, but
Yeah, I
Nah.
it seems familiar, but I really had no idea. But yeah, that looks interesting. But the Switch 2 Direct is in 2 days, so
Yeah.
I'm
That's
wondering
equally
what
crazy.
we're gonna see. If they're gonna have more game announcements, or if it's just gonna be focused on the hardware, or hey, did you guys hear
wonder.
about the Zelda movie?
No, but I
Yep.
heard Xbox is trying to kill the console wars.
I did hear about that. Actually, I talked to a friend about that the other day.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Sorry, we're talking about general just stuff like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about the Legend of Zelda movie.
It's
when
gonna be
it
a
was,
trilogy.
first talked about. Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna do a whole wisdom, power, courage thing.
Oh, that could be cool.
Like the Triforce.
Yeah, that could
The
be really cool.
Triforce saga.
I love how excited you get talking about this stuff, like Zelda and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, it's so much fun.
You guys are such Nintendo babies. It's amazing.
I heard about it first when the Mario movie came out. I think that's when Nintendo said, "Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna try this."
They said we're gonna
But
try
I
to
don't
make
think
more.
there wasn't any real like big announcement until recently when they did it on their new app.
Yeah, their news app.
Yeah, Nintendo Twitter.
Nintendo
Twitter.
today. Yeah, it's I'm so glad they're going with live action. Honestly, I know a lot of people were saying they wish they had gone animated, but I think there are, and maybe animated's the better choice. But the truth is, there are some franchises you can get away going live action with that you can't.
Yeah.
Like Mario has to be animated, but Metroid and Zelda, you can make live
They should
action.
have never made Minecraft live action. Minecraft should have
That
stayed.
also comes out
Oh
in a
my
few
goodness.
days. Yeah.
I
I'm actually
hope-
gonna go see that.
I hope it's better than what it looks like, but I am
buddy.
I'm super skeptical if that's going to be good at all.
I'm
like,
assuming
oh my goodness.
it'll be a Mario movie situation where critics are like, yeah, it's fine. You know, like give it a 60 or something, and then all the fans and players of the game are like, oh, they referenced the game. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's like fun to watch and it's cool for fans. Like I'm assuming it's probably gonna be one of those
I
deals.
hope it's
but
fun to watch. My concern
It's Jack
actively
Black.
is
and
Yes,
I can't remember,
have you
and
seen the
Jason
promotional
Momoa. It's gonna
material?
be no, I haven't, but I've
But
seen those too. I
everyone
know it's gonna
cringed
be
at
good.
Jack-
I know it's
No,
gonna
'cause
be
everyone
just because
cringed
of
at
that.
Jack Black.
Jack Black
is the
and
main
Jason
cause of the
Momoa.
cringe.
It's gonna be hilarious.
It's like
Nate,
Jumanji
look at the
all over
promo
again.
videos. Look at the promo videos. There's
No,
literally clips
seriously,
of Jack
Nate.
Black going, "I am Steve."
Yeah,
That's
watch the
hilarious.
trailer.
So bad.
It goes, "I am Steve."
It's just like, why? No.
I don't expect anything else from Jack Black, man.
No,
That's
but it's
great, dude.
like clearly not a good thing. No other way to put that. It's just clearly not good. It
I
hurts.
have no
It'll be
idea, man.
okay.
Yeah.
It'll be
It hurts.
fine.
It hurts my soul,
It's
guys.
Nacho Libre and Aquaman. It'll be great.
I hope you're right, and I hope I'm dead wrong.
I'll let you know.
my
I guess I'll
goodness.
let you guys know the next time we do this.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah, because you're gonna see
Yeah.
it. So you're the movie
When
watcher.
Yep.
When it releases on
Unfortunately.
Amazon, we'll all watch it together.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we will.
We could.
I always
can-
ask to watch things.
I'll
with
let you
and
be
you're
the
like,
one to
we
put
could
that
we'll
together.
talk
then.
about it. We could talk about doing it and maybe actually Hey, but we did watch Warhammer. We talked about that and it did actually happen. We watched that Warhammer episode of Secret
We
Level.
did.
So maybe we'll
you loved
actually
it.
watch Minecraft. I did. It was awesome. And you know what made it so
Ow.
exciting is that for a lot of it I was just confused, and I'm like, it nails that classic Warhammer thing of me just being confused most of the time. So I love it, dude. It looked awesome. I got to see
that's,
some pew pews and some cool magic, and yeah.
You gain testosterone just by watching it. It's nuts.
I feel like
Yeah.
I gained something by watching it.
Excitement
The
for
urge
the
to
show.
purge Xenos.
All right, let's jump into our topics. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I don't actually have an answer to mine, but I'm hoping I figure it out as we get in this.
Okay.
What are your guys's I guess the best way I can say this, what are your hills you would die on?
Hamburger Hill.
What?
Sorry. That was
Oh,
a
man.
dumb joke.
Um,
It's a reference to an old war movie.
hills to die on.
Yeah.
Just so we all understand that phrase, right? Basically, the question you're asking is, what is something that is, what's like a divisive opinion that
That
you
you are
can't have your
unmovable.
mind changed on? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna hate this one. Are you ready?
Go for
I'm
it.
Darth
ready.
Vader is an overrated villain.
You know,
Sidious is far superior in almost
I-
every single way, and
I
Darth Vader
don't-
is incredibly overrated.
No,
I
you're
don't
not
disagree
wrong.
at all, actually.
I don't
Wait a
even
minute.
think that's divisive. I think it's just true. Sidious is just a better villain.
For real?
the
No.
my problem with Vader
Maul is better than Vader.
is that the more you know about Vader, the
That one got
less
stopped thinking.
I agree with you though, because here's the deal: you know nothing about Maul. He's just like a scary force. But the more you know about Vader, the less like villainous he seems. Obviously he does horrible stuff, but compared to Sidious, like there's this big narrative nowadays, which I feel like people push a little too much, of Vader being super sympathetic, and I'm like, well, he still killed kids. I mean, you can't just ignore that, right? Like he still did that. Yeah, you don't just talk about how sympathetic he is, but
I think I told you about this ages ago, right? When I was in the
Sidious is-
dairy cooler, I used to sit there and scream at the top of my lungs in the tone of what is it?
Duel of the
In the
Fates.
tune
Duel
of
of
Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Vader sucks a lot. He killed kids. And I would do that for hours until the GM manager would walk over to the dairy coolers, open the doors, and yell at me to shut up. So he could hear me on the aisle. Anyways,
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh.
that's pretty much what they are. It's unmovable opinions.
Yeah.
This is your stand. You're planting your flag here. Nobody can convince you otherwise. I know I have multiple of these. I don't remember them at the moment. I thought about this in the shower earlier. It was either I was going to come to the table with talking about hygiene, and I thought that was kind of lame, so I came up with hills to die on.
Okay, I have
it's
two.
okay. We're all
I
kind
don't
of
know
lame.
mine.
I have two, and I think one of
What's your
them
hill
is
to
like
die on?
semi-controversial, and one is probably not super controversial. Okay, here's one. Every Monster Hunter game that has not had water fighting in it since Monster Hunter 3 has been a disappointment. The third game, they had water
That's awesome.
combat.
That is a
And
that is
it
a
was
hot take
what
indeed.
made it so cool is that you would be in the water with a monster, and that is their territory, where the land is your territory. On the land, you have an advantage. In the water, you are at a total disadvantage. And it's immersive, it's scary. Yeah, there might have been some camera issues, and which, like, yeah, that could be a problem. But here's the deal: you don't just make a bold move and then backtrack when it got mixed reception. No, you innovate, you work on it, you bring it back sooner. And this ties into like a second thing I was thinking of, A Hill That I'll Die On. Man, Star Wars Episode 9 is a horrible movie. And why do I think
Oof.
that? Here's the deal. I like some of the writing, I like some of the banter, but you could talk about like somehow Palpatine returned. That's kind of, I don't even want to
They
just.
should have let that
That's
one lie.
kinda
They
lazy,
should have
man.
left that.
Somehow Palpatine returned. But here's what my problem with Episode 9. Episode 8, whether you like it or not, was so bold. My goodness, it was bold with every decision it made. I would rather that movie have been made than someone play it safe. Because they're bold. Bold, bold, bold. I have my problems with that movie, but I absolutely respect it for what it did. The goal of the director was to subvert my expectations. He subverted my expectations, for real. But Episode 9 spent so much time, like, doing the exact opposite. it felt like it was apologizing or playing it safe or backtracking on stuff that happened or talking down to something that happened in the last movie rather than saying, okay, this is the direction the franchise has gone in. Let's just keep going. Let's just push it. Let's make another bold film. Bring back swimming in Monster Hunter, and episode 9. I just wish you had
So
ran with it.
So what I get from this is, if you're a writer out there, Nathaniel thinks if you're gonna write something, don't backtrack, commit all in.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would rather
wasn't
have.
that kind of the point of early writing, though?
I would rather
Was to
have.
put your opinions out there?
Yeah, this super, like, bold, distinct, opinionated thing that not everyone likes, but that you put your heart into, than this bland, generic stuff. I'd rather have the movie
Yeah.
that is a 6 out of 10 that some people call a 10 out of 10 and others call a 2 out of 10 than
Like the
the
prequels.
like safe 7 or 6.
Hey, now
Oh.
there's a new
That's
2
a
out
hill.
of 10 movie on the IMDb now.
What is that?
Snow White.
Oh no, that came out.
Did you see that?
It came out. No,
Okay.
no, but I saw all the news coverage that it's getting right now.
It's getting a lot of bad
I haven't
press.
seen anything
Yeah.
about that. I didn't even know that came out yet.
You're taking a traditional Disney princess who embodies what it's like to be feminine and beautiful and kind, and you're turning it into sassy girl boss, which is the opposite of what you should be doing.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
know a
hate
lot
to,
about.
this is a bit nitpicky. I'm gonna be a jerk for a minute, but in the story, Snow White is supposed to be more attractive than the evil queen because the evil queen is envious of her looks, right?
Yeah.
Right? Enough said, I think.
I just want to state that the evil queen in this remake is Gal Gadot.
One of the most beautiful women on the
it's-
planet. Yeah.
She's
It's
a
like-
supermodel.
Yes. She was
And-
also in the Israeli military.
One.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that. One
I
of
think so,
the
at least. I could be
plot
wrong.
points that the big Snow White thing is you have the mirror, and the mirror says, whoever first in the land or whatever.
Yeah, mirror, mirror.
Well,
Who's on
there's
the wall? Who's the fairest of them all? That kind of thing.
yeah. Once again, I have not seen the movie, so yes, I am
haven't
totally
either.
judging this book by its cover. But there's a plot point that I read where the evil queen says, the whole line, who's the fairest of them all, and the mirror says Snow White, but the way that it gauges it is not off of like outward beauty, but inner beauty. And so I have to sit there and think, in all of this kingdom, in all of the world, there's really nobody else that's even a little bit better than the evil queen? What's the point of fighting her then? What's the whole point of the movie?
Yeah. And
Good
and
grief.
and
I don't
it's,
know.
and if
It just
and if
seems
it's being
ridiculous.
judged by inner
Wait, so
beauty,
inner
then
beauty was the judge, and the
if
evil
that's
queen
the
was
judge,
Yes.
the most
then
beautiful up until this
then
point.
the evil queen solving that isn't
Yeah.
gonna
You can't-
make her any
And you
more
can't call
inner
her an evil
beautiful.
queen.
Like, yeah,
By definition, if it's judging internal beauty and she's just now not the most beautiful person, that means she's a genuinely good person.
What does
So
that
she's
say about the
not an
rest
evil
of the people
queen.
in the kingdom?
You got a bunch of
a queen.
muggers and
She's not an
scumbags
evil
in your
queen. She's
kingdom.
a queen of evil people.
Yeah, dang, bro.
Okay.
Sodom and Gomorrah got nothing on this kingdom.
My thing is, I don't know Snow White. I don't know
Good
the
grief.
story that well. I probably saw it when I was like 3 or something, right? But if you've got something that is that old and that traditional and that loved, like, and you're gonna remake it, you stray as little from the source you're remaking from as possible. Or
Right.
if you make changes, you be very careful and thoughtful about them. I mean, you look at some games that are beloved games that get remade, and people don't like the remakes. Not because they're afraid of change or this or that, but they go, man, you changed this one plot point that totally like devalued the rest of this, or you made this change or removed this mechanic, and it's not like you don't add quality of life, or you don't rewrite something, or you don't uh, make changes, but you got to be sure. You got to be really sure when
Yeah.
you're dealing with something that beloved as Snow White, which has been around forever.
I would say
So
you have
they
to be
probably like you
conscientious
just play
about
it
what you're doing.
safe. That's what I thought made and I don't remember again, but it's been so long. But we saw the live action Cinderella, and I don't know how that was received,
Great.
or how
That was
or
cool.
how truthful to the original that was. But as from what I know about Cinderella, it seemed pretty truthful, like pretty
It did pretty good.
faithful, and it was also, I thought, just a good movie. I thought it was genuinely good. So if you can do both, if you can make a faithful remake that lovingly uh, upgrades the original, that can be attractive to both modern fans and old fans, and can also be a good product in itself, we're good. That's kind of the something I was wondering about Final Fantasy IX is if they're remaking that, what style are they gonna do it in? Because I know there's a lot of people that aren't gonna want it to be an action RPG like modern Final Fantasy.
Oh.
They'd want it to stay turn based, but what are they gonna change? Like how are they gonna walk that line? I'm interested to see, but
Are we sure it's going to be a remake and not a remaster like they did with Final Fantasy VIII?
yeah, I was wondering about that, but the thing is that we've basically had that already. Not to the level that 8 was remade, but they did like upscale some stuff, and it's still ported on modern
Oh,
consoles.
I
But it
see.
hasn't had like the quality of life changes, and the FMVs haven't been remastered, and the models haven't been remastered as much as 8. So it's not as a buff as a remaster, but I they might also do the Crisis Core route and just like put a whole HD coat of paint on top of it, but it's still the same game.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my point is if you're remaking, like if Nintendo released a remake of Super Mario 64 for the Switch 2,
Oh my gosh.
every person in the gaming community is gonna have their eyes on that, and they're gonna go, this better be good.
Yeah.
This better be good.
They could pull it off.
I feel like
Yeah.
Nintendo's been pretty good about remasters and remakes.
Yeah. But it's that
I
big
think
of
they
a
also
thing.
play it safe for the most part.
They do.
If they're going to do a remaster, they're not going to give you anything else other than what it was before, just better.
And I think that might be
I
why
hope
they
so.
make so little of them too. Is because
Maybe.
Man.
they know sometimes it's better to just port this thing that's beloved anyway than to try to remake it. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned
I
about
agree.
I learned about a game I used to love as a kid that got remastered. It was called Fate. I told you guys about this a week or two ago.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
So I got that game and I tried it out.
How
It's
was
good,
it?
but it's kind of like what Nate was saying, where yeah, this is just like there's a couple minor details and key things that were changed, and the game just doesn't quite feel the same, and it makes me sad. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and you say just like you got to be very conscious about the changes you make to a beloved game before you make them. So
Yeah.
that was very well put. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
You guys
Hills
got
to
any
die
more
on.
hills? Any more hills?
That was the die on. Are we just being controversial at this point, gentlemen?
I don't.
I think
don't know.
the by nature a hill that you're dying on has to be a little controversial, right? Or
I think
else,
so too,
like,
yeah.
what? How would you be dying on it? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I came up with this topic and I didn't have one to bring to the table.
Yeah.
I do agree with your water hill, Nate.
The water.
I hope that changes.
Yeah,
soon.
bring back water
really
combat,
nice.
dude.
Also, it's kind of funny because I go through the subreddit for Monster Hunter, and every time water combat comes up, people talk about how much they miss it. So I don't know, like, yeah. Oh, so many
That's
people
awesome.
miss the water
Great.
combat and are
Great.
wishing for it to come back.
There's a
Especially
bunch of memes.
with some of the new announcements they've done for new monsters coming. They're like, all right, if they're gonna have this. Should I pause?
No, we're good. Keep going.
Oh, if we're gonna have this monster show back up from Monster Hunter 3, it better be with water combat, or they have to make the fight a lot more interesting. Because that was his entire kit.
Well, yeah,
So,
and I
you're not
remember
alone.
fighting the Lagiacrus in.
I think it's Lagiacrus.
And however you say it, and the Plesioth, which could be Plesioth, probably Plesioth as in Plesiosaur or whatever. Fighting those both post 3, and they're so much less
Lame.
interesting.
I'm back.
Yeah, because you're so used to fighting them in water at that point.
Yeah.
And they've got such cool abilities, and so having that be gone, just it's a bummer.
I guess I don't know. Ironically, the new, I don't know if it's ironic, but the next Monster Hunter update comes out on the 3rd, the day after the Switch 2 direct thing. So that's what I'll be doing next week.
That's cool.
3 days.
Yeah. Well, no, because my brother-in-law will be in here, so I probably won't be playing a whole lot of anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Hills to die on. Oh boy, I have a lot of work-related hills. I think if you're going to apply to a job, actually do the work.
How about just show up? Yeah.
Well, they can show up, but if they're not going to do any of the work, then don't show up.
Oh yeah,
then you're just wasting people's time.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that. It's one of the most annoying things ever. I'm gonna go get a job and then complain on my first day about how much my job sucks. Like, you haven't been there. What are you talking about?
Or if they just show up and they sit on their phone the whole time.
I used to hate that about when I used to work at Safeway. People would be like, I hate my job. This place sucks. And then literally like 2 weeks later, they quit because they hate their job so much. Meanwhile, I've been there for like 8 years. And I've literally been wronged in every way a dude could be wronged at a job site.
And yet you don't complain.
You're still a jolly Santa Claus too.
Yeah, and I'm still making time to bring cookies to other coworkers and make their days better. Like, shut up, stop whining, get to work.
So anyway, I guess that's my hill is.
I'll die on that hill with
and
you.
then I don't know if this is controversial or if it counts as a hill, but if you're gonna post things on social media, no, actually that might be a different.
We can edit it out.
No. Send it. Full send. We're here now.
Understand that the things that you put on the internet are representations of you. These are the things that you're showing the world. This is who I am. This is probably part of the reason why I don't post a whole lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't post anything, but sometimes I'll see people who I know or have known him post just these random things, and it's like, brother, are you okay? Is this a self-harm thing? Or are you just trying to get attention? Or do you understand the meaning behind these words that you're putting in there or this post? That's why I can't do social media. I can't take people seriously.
Yeah.
Just use your brain before you post.
Yeah. So I don't think that's a hill, but
I do. I agree. I think people should be forced to think thoroughly before they post anything.
Right.
That's a good hill.
Yeah.
I think
we should make
social media.
Someone holds them accountable for something they posted, and I don't mean that in like a cancel culture way, as in like, oh, this person tweeted about this 15 years ago. Let's cancel them.
Right.
They're a
We should
I
make
mean,
social
it's
media
a totally
illegal for anyone who
totally
doesn't
different
pass an
person,
IQ test.
but I mean, if someone like said something horrible on social media and then your boss calls you out for it at work the next day, like you, why are you surprised?
Yeah, I mean,
You don't talk to people that way.
that's yeah. The internet is not an excuse to be a terrible person
Yeah.
or to say terrible things. I don't think just because you have an opinion doesn't mean it needs to be shared. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's just ridiculous. Sometimes
And
things
that doesn't
don't
mean
need to
you
be said.
can't, but there's a difference between talking about how much you like a game or how you weren't super happy with a movie or how you would like the next version of D&D to be different. There's a difference between that and you you know talking on something uh I guess a good word would be polarizing. Talking about some like voicing your opinion on something more polarizing.
Sure.
Like politics.
Yes.
Right.
I realized you made that statement about not everyone's opinion needs to be shared seconds after I made a joke about everyone having to pass an IQ test to be allowed to use social media.
Well,
If you have the IQ test,
I
your
don't know.
opinion is
I
able
feel
to
that way
be.
about people who drive.
Disclaimer,
Oh,
that was a
dude.
joke. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's a hill I'm gonna die on. If a society can't even follow its own traffic laws, it's a failing, dying society. Fight me.
I don't understand
The amount of people.
drivers. You know, I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida has the worst drivers ever.
Dude,
Now,
I can't
Georgia
even imagine.
has actually some pretty moderate drivers. Also because the police really enforce Georgia and the police do squat in Florida. Every time I cross the Georgia state lines into Florida, it's like people go from on their best behavior to no man's land.
Well, there's a reason the Florida Man meme exists.
Yes. I can't understand the mentality of people who think it's okay to put other people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What gives them maybe it makes me annoyed. It does make me annoyed. But what gives them the right to have to not follow the rules that are put in place to keep people safe?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
The amount of times
drivers here
I'm
are
just
crazy
trying
too.
to like drive, man. Oh, dude. I don't know if it's the case. Maybe they've always been bad up here, and I just notice it more because I drive a lot for a living. But drivers up here are the worst.
Dude, I miss
Because
Alaska
there's no
drivers.
excuse for
I think
you
it's
to be
just
this bad.
anywhere.
I kid you not.
Alaska
I miss
drivers
Alaska
aren't that
drivers.
bad.
There's no excuse for people to be that bad at driving up here, though. Like, there really just is no excuse for it. Like,
Correct.
there's not that many people. Like,
You
just
shouldn't be going 80 in a 55.
Yeah.
correct.
That's messed up.
Actually, dude, they haven't updated it, but they might as well at this point. The new unofficial speed limit on the Richardson Highway is 70. It's ridiculous.
Oh.
Like every time I drive there, I can be going 5 over the speed limit. People are blasting
You
past
can't
me
do
like
that
I'm
in
not
the
moving.
snow, though. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
People still do it.
Yep.
People get in the
Don't
side
get me
of the
started
road.
on
The people get in the
this
ditch on the side
winter
of
when
the
I
road.
was going down the
That's
highway.
why.
Just going down the highway this winter, and some dude in like a big jacked up truck blasted past me going 80 in snow. So it blew all the dust up, the snow dust up into my windshield, and I couldn't see. I had to slow down to 20 miles an hour.
Oh, dude.
There was a day, either last month or the month before, where I counted 9 cars in the ditch on the way into town, and people were still driving 80. Like, why? Are you
That's the
stupid?
mindset of it's not gonna happen to me.
They are. They
It's
are
not gonna happen to
stupid.
me.
I had this interesting moment talking to my wife a couple months ago after having a very heated discussion about stupid drivers where we were also watching the Hunger Games at the same time, and I had this
Interesting mix.
thought that, you know, if I was a dictator, I would make everybody go through driver's ed once a year, and I would crack down on road enforcement laws. Like, that would be my thing. I would want to be the road guy in a dictatorship.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out what I would call that. A Scott-tatorship?
Sure. I am the tater. I'm getting heated. I need to not be heated right now.
Honestly, we're gonna need to revisit that because I have some others. I mean, I'm sure we've all got hills we could die on. This might just need to be whenever one of us has had a bad day. This is the topic we bring. No. Because I'm sure there'll be plenty in the future, but whenever one of us is at a bad day, we just bring this topic and just rant. And, yeah. But we've gotten spicy today, man. And I don't.
My goodness.
And as far as I know, we're gonna continue to. So before we get to Brandon's spice, which for the record,
I don't even remember what mine was.
We have been we did not tell each other what our topics were, except Brandon did mention his, just to make sure that it wasn't too spicy. And it might be, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'll go next. My topic is game franchises. Game franchises you'd love to see an out of genre spin-off in. So to give some context to this, I was thinking about, I have this video essay I'm working on. I don't know when it's coming out because it's not like a main thing I'm trying to produce every week or something. But I have this video essay that will come out eventually in weeks or months about Final Fantasy and kind of this idea of like why do you love certain games? What makes your favorite franchise your favorite franchise? And it's kind of this idea of me looking at Final Fantasy and trying to figure out, well, why have I started to like it so much? And what is Final Fantasy about? Because if you were to ask someone pre-Final Fantasy 11, what is Final Fantasy about? They'd say, well, it's turn-based. It's a turn-based RPG with like low magic and mid magic fantasy in a low magic mid magic fantasy setting that has, as far as tech is concerned, like airships at the bare minimum, and then like good, interesting storytelling. That's what it would be. But and the only outlier would be like Final Fantasy Tactics. You'd say, yeah, there's this one time they kind of made it more like Fire Emblem, and it was a tactical RPG instead of a turn-based RPG with the ATB system or something. But it was still, those are still technically turn-based. It's your turn and the enemy turn. So you would say that's what Final Fantasy is, a turn-based RPG. But now they've had a dungeon crawler, they've had a third-person shooter, they've had all these action RPGs, they've had gotcha games.
Wait, they had a third-person shooter?
Yeah, it was called Dirge of Cerberus. You played as a guy, as this kind of vampiric
Final Fantasy VII free.
Yeah, he had a gun and just yeah, it was awesome. I haven't played it, but it seems Shadow the Hedgehog levels of edgy, and I'm here for it. But there's all these genres now. I mean, you've had movies, you've had books, you've had OVAs, you've had all this stuff. And so I would say right now, my kind of working definition for what is Final Fantasy about, if I'm looking at this purely based on the one thing that has been consistent in most all of their storytelling, is Final Fantasy is about love and loss. But it got me thinking about other games, like, well, if I had the opportunity to make a Final Fantasy game, a spin-off, what genre would I want to put it in? And I was like, well, they've already done all the ones. So I started thinking about other things. What are some other game genres that I would like to see a spin-off in? So I've got 6 things here. That I'll just give us some examples before we go into whatever you guys are thinking of. I would love to see a Metroidvania Mega Man game. Now,
a Metroidvania Mega Man?
Mega Man ZX is kind of that a little bit, but I'd like to see one that goes further with it and is less linear. A Metroidvania Mega Man would be really cool. A Soulsborne Castlevania.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how that hasn't happened yet. But
I haven't either,
if you
actually.
can get that actually produced by Nintendo and FromSoft together,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Oh, I don't
A
know if it'll happen.
Yeah, it probably. I don't know if it ever would, but I don't know that I would want
It's
a non.
it's. I feel like it's common knowledge that Nintendo just hates everyone who's not Nintendo.
I don't know,
Say
man.
that they hate them. Nintendo's really good at
They
playing
don't
it
do a
safe.
lot of third party. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I was being sarcastic, but
Okay. I'd love to see
I like all of those.
a turn-based RPG Zelda.
Oh wow.
Zelda
Interesting.
RPGs.
Yeah, Zelda has never gone into the RPG world where you level up Link and stuff, except Hyrule Warriors. But that was
I
also
feel like a
spin-off.
Paper Mario style.
But I would love to see
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a three people to a party kind of Zelda game, basically taking after Final Fantasy. I mean, you've got Zelda, Link, and Impa, and then try to find some other characters that you can have in your party and make it turn-based and do that kind of thing.
Can I take that one step further? Can I jump
Sure.
off of yours real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Zelda in the style of Divinity or Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
Or not just Zelda, but maybe Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem already has
Fire
the
Emblem could
turn-based
do that really
aspect.
Cool. Yeah.
But Fire Emblem or Zelda in those two styles, I would love to see that.
I absolutely adore turn-based combat.
I wouldn't want
honest.
that with Zelda.
So,
When I mean turn-based, I mean I straight up mean like Final Fantasy turn-based. You've got one people on this side, people on this side, and it's active time battle kind of thing. I don't mean the more tactical thing that Fire Emblem or Divinity does. But that'd be, I'm sure that would still be fun.
I love like the tactical squad turn-based stuff. It's so
like
good.
XCOM.
Yeah, my whole thing
XCOM's
about
great.
a turn-based RPG Zelda though is it's your one chance to really just focus on a good story. Which Zelda, I love all the stories. Zelda has good stories, but the past two games that they've made, being the mainline games being Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the story is so interesting. I just don't like the manner in which they tell it. You are not an active participant in the story because it's all through memories.
It's almost a It's almost as bad as Dark Souls storytelling method.
Dark Souls that's a little different, but if you're someone who wants to have it like given to you, yeah, you can't get that from Dark Souls at all. Three more real quick. One would be a tactical RPG, so what we're talking about like Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics or XCOM or Mario vs. Rabbids, that kind of thing. Tactical RPG Star Wars game. Don't know how they haven't done that yet.
Cool.
Give me Republic Commandos or a Jedi and some clones or a squad of Imperials, Darth Vader and the 501st, whatever. A tactical RPG, X-Men.
Ooh,
how has that not happened either?
Interesting.
You've got the classes, you've got your ranged, with Cyclops and Storm, and Wolverine could be like the up close type, because those games are all rock paper scissors, and Colossus is your big tank, and you could totally make something with that and tell a cool comic based story while you're at it. And then my third would be a beat 'em up Sly Cooper game.
Oh, that would be so cool.
It would be a great way
that one's weird.
Actually for PlayStation to just real quick bring the franchise back into the modern market before they remaster an old game or make Sly 5. It's just give me Sly, Bentley, Murray, Carmelita, Dimitri, the Panda King.
Panda King.
And you could maybe get away with a few others. And just straight up have it be Guru, yeah. Straight up just have it be in the style of the Shredder's Revenge and Cosmic Invasion beat 'em ups that are coming out. Just a story, some simple thing, them all just kicking butt, nice and pixelated. That'd be tight.
That would be really cool.
Their aesthetic could totally fit that too.
You've thought about this a lot.
The art style and their whole kind of comic-y thing as well could totally fit. Yeah, so those are my 6 spin-offs that I'd want to see.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's a Warhammer game that doesn't already exist that I want to exist. Sky said Stardew Valley. How in the world are you going to do Stardew Valley? You're gonna have like
You're the lore guy, man. I have no idea. I'm just giving the ideas.
I don't know.
A Warhammer Stardew Valley game?
Yeah.
Dude, that'd
Yeah,
be
you're
crazy.
gonna have it
Like a
cuts to an
chill farming game.
cuts to an imperial peasant on a farming world, and then just like there are random in-game events, space marine drop pods show up, and chaos demons come out of nowhere. Like what?
You just continue your normal farming life.
Yeah. You're a shepherd on a backwater world. Try to relax as the galaxy burns around you.
It would be cool. That would be so much fun.
Space Marine Farming Simulator.
It would maybe need to be some kind of thing taking place in not the current age, right? In a time where maybe you could have a more safe thing.
I would want
like
Warhammer Stellaris. I would want 40k Stellaris.
Oh, dude, that's gonna get out of hand way too quick. Let's
That
do
would be
it.
cool.
Exactly.
Were you gonna pick a faction, take over the world as the Tyranids, or the universe?
Choose your chapter.
I feel like so in this particular instance, the Tyranids would be like one of the end game events.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they are in Warhammer. Is they're like, oh, these things are eating the galaxy.
Yeah.
You could exterminatus whole worlds.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have to build super weapons or worry about war crimes because guess what? That's regular.
That's just technology we have.
Yeah, actually it is. Cyclonic torpedoes are kind of standard in Warhammer. They're frowned upon generally to be used, but they're used often enough. So frowning upon them does nothing.
Would you want to see any different kind of Warcraft style game?
Maybe a tactical RPG similar to like Nephilim Saga or something like that.
Oh, let's go.
That could work out really cool. But I think when it comes to Warcraft, I think they kind of know what their niche is and they don't stray from it.
Yeah, I don't think their fans would be like I think a lot of people would be open to a single character focused kind of maybe like an action RPG kind of Warcraft, but
yeah.
But I think they're also a brand where I think it's fine if they don't do something like that because what they are still continuously making is still super successful and interesting, and they are still getting growth. When they stop growing is when they maybe need to start to branch or something.
Well, Warcraft?
I don't know. I think it depends
Warcraft
on. I think it depends
growing
on the
like
brand.
10 years ago. World of Warcraft hit its peak back in 2008.
For real?
Actually, it might not be that long ago, but yeah. They hit a peak. Arbitrary Google moment.
A better phrase maybe would have been to say when they stop making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they're still making money. Then
that's never gonna happen.
They're good.
They peaked in Cataclysm with their subscriber base.
Okay.
So what year was
when they were at their most subscribers? Oh shoot!
Was that?
I know it was over a decade ago.
Was that 2012? Cataclysm.
Cataclysm is the third expansion, right?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Burning Legion, Wrath, and then Cataclysm.
Burning Legion. No. It wasn't
Crusade.
Burning Legion. It was just called.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Crusade. Burning
Crusade.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah. And Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria. Maybe. Well, Mists of Pandaria had a huge Chinese audience. I don't know if they had more than Cataclysm did.
Pandas, man.
You're excited to play a panda monk, aren't you?
No, I'm excited to play a monk. Although the panda part's pretty cool too.
Everybody was going for fighting.
Let's see.
So, other spin-offs.
Other spin-offs?
Oh boy. Maybe because I'm just in a Monster Hunter phase right now, but I think there are a lot of other series out there that could try and tackle it the same way that Monster Hunter does. Especially series that have a lot of, monsters to fight.
Yeah.
Like I think Dungeons and Dragons. That would be cool.
That'd be really good.
I would be down for a
Yeah.
D&D Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
I think a Monster Hunter MMO.
They did that before. Monster Hunter Online was a thing.
I think it was Monster Hunter MMO, but good.
Well, it was pretty good. It was made in only Asia, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A Monster Hunter MMO, but American.
Oh well.
That would be great. Americans can play. That's what Brandon is asking.
Yeah, like Dungeons and Dragons or Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy would be so cool.
Yeah, you've got a lot of historical like bosses and super bosses and just monsters in general that you could keep bringing back and in order to have there be difficulty scaling like in normal Monster Hunter.
And you can make the monsters lore accurately scary. Like, imagine what's the final boss of Iceborne in Monster Hunter World? Fatalis. You could have a lore accurate Fatalis as a raid boss.
That could be cool.
That'd be scary.
Well,
that'd be so cool.
I think Fatalis was lore accurate in Iceborne.
Could he actually be taken down by a single hunter?
Well, so Monster Hunter lore, there's a reason that there are only allowed to be 4 hunters to go on a hunt. If you have any more, then it's an issue, and it is possible for a single hunter to take down something as big as Fatalis. In lore, there are things that happen like that all the time.
Really?
Although the lore is always kind of sketchy and sometimes gets retconned by other games. So.
Gotcha. Wait, so why is it a problem if more than 4 hunters go out at a time?
People die. I don't know.
That's
okay.
I just know there's a reason for it. I don't know. Okay. I don't totally understand the
reasoning,
why.
But you know there's a reason.
Yeah. But it is a rule in the guild that you can't have more than 4 hunters go on a quest.
Weird. Yeah. What happens if you have more than 4? I wonder.
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
It's either there's a comic about, or I guess a manga about it, or I think like an animated special or something. I'd have to look into it. Anyway, that's off track though.
That's what we do. We go off track.
Something Monster Hunter related, or in that style. I do think I think there should be more games like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing.
Just peaceful village builders.
Yeah, because I think there's so many games you could do that to, and
I know how you do it in Warhammer.
There's one game that's coming out
soon. Go for it. The Shire.
No, see, here's how you do it in Warhammer. Following every Imperial Guard regiment is their retinue of like family and people who travel with the Imperial Guard.
There you
go. From world to world. So you just have it like, you just arrived on this planet with your Imperial Guard regiment. Now you must rebuild your life for the 5th time this year.
Nice. Yeah. I think there would be a lot of fun if you did a Predator game in the style of Mass Effect.
Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Mass Effect is it's kind of Knights of the Old Republic, right? It's one of those games with the story choices and the relationships and all that.
Yeah.
And then, but the mechanics are third-person shooter.
There hasn't been a very good Predator game in a while. They had a Predator game a couple years ago, where it was one person played the Predator and 4 other players played shooter, like military guys, and so it was a hunting style thing.
It flopped pretty hard though, didn't it?
I don't know if it flopped, but it didn't get a whole lot of recognition.
Not me.
Sorry, my phone is blowing up. But I think it would be cool if they had a story-based Predator game where you play as the Predator.
I don't even know the lore of that though. What is does Predator
have
interesting
be a really
story an interesting story
Assassin's
at all?
Creed Predators. Actually, Predators.
Yeah, actually, that would probably do better.
Fascinating. Assassin's Creed Predators. How Predators have like this huge like code of conduct thing, and they're super like honor bound, like excellent warriors.
They can get old too, like up to a millennia or something.
And the older the predator is, generally the more powerful they are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like we could go on this subject for a while, because there's a lot of cool ideas.
I mean, there's certain things. The thing is that some possibilities are almost infinite. When you think nobody thought the Mario and the Rabbids were gonna make a tactical RPG together, but saying something like a Mega Man Metroidvania, which they've already been pretty close to, like I could see that happening. I could see Dark Souls Castlevania game actually happening, and so even if we're talking about those, I mean, there's so many franchises, there's so many interesting directions. The only franchise I can think of that I don't know how or what a spin-off would be besides what they've already done would be like Pokemon. I don't know how else you spin that off.
Do a dating sim.
No.
But not for the Pokemon. I mean for the trainers, and have all the Pokemon battles and stuff happening as like a side thing. But like insert dating mechanics
that could
into
actually
the
totally
different
work.
You're the
right.
gym leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
One of those story games.
All I could think of is my Jigglypuff wants to date your Staryu.
Oh no, that's.
No,
get that out of here. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they could totally do a Pokemon dating sim.
Yeah, like a visual novel or something.
Yeah. More
a visual novel
story-centric Pokemon game.
Aren't like most of the protagonists of the Pokemon games 10 years old?
Yes.
Yes.
So you make them not 10 years old. You make them not 10 years old. You make it like they're all in like high school or something.
Yeah.
And they've got their Pokemon.
It's like Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, they've done their thing. They've done their being a Pokemon trainer, and they've decided to continue their education, that kind of thing. There you go.
That's just, we called it the Boulevard of Broken Dreams right there. I was a Pokemon trainer, but then I gave it up.
Well, I don't think most everyone does it forever. Because the idea is that it's supposed to be like a coming of age story. So you turn 10, you get a lot of freedom, you get your Pokemon, you go do your thing for a few years and go see the world, and then eventually you either continue that and become a trainer or a gym leader like all the time, or you go back to normal life.
I think Pokemon,
most people, it's normal.
The Sun and Moon, because they had Sun and Moon, they had a secondary game. It might have just been a big expansion or something.
Ultra Sun.
But in Moon. That game, that's the one. Yep. Mm-hmm. You can fight. You can find, talk to, and battle Red and Blue.
Oh yeah, Red and Blue.
Yeah.
From the first game.
Yeah. So the protagonist and the rival from Pokemon Red.
That's cool.
And I think they kept that trend up for some of the other games where you can meet but they're older. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can find Red and Blue in Gold and Silver as well, I think.
Okay.
Which makes sense given that it was the next direct sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're fighting yourself from a past life, basically.
Yeah. Kind of neat. The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of video games out there that could, given a specific genre of game, they could be really successful.
And some of them, I don't know why they haven't happened already. In some cases,
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you just get, if you're a big company that owns this, just you publish it and license this out to a third-party developer and just have them make this game for you.
Soulsborne Castlevania just seems like
A
a
given.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tried to
I
do
want it.
something different with Castlevania when they did Lords of Shadow, but that was an interesting style of game. They tried to keep some of the traditional Metroidvania aspects and tried to put some new spins on it. And it was very well voice acted. Patrick Stewart was in there as I think he was Lucifer or something. I don't
Wow.
know. But they got some top tier actors for that.
What is the weirdest Metroid? Like, what could Metroid get away with doing?
I honestly don't know that there's much for Metroid. They've done the action game thing with Other M. They've done the third-person shooter thing with Prime. The weirdest Metroid has gotten, besides Pinball, which is really just a licensed pinball game with a Metroid skin on it, it's nothing else, would be Federation Force, which is like a 4-player co-op shooter. Pretty much first-person shooter, 4-player co-op. It didn't do super well because it was a 3DS game, and the 3DS did not initially sell very great. And though it did eventually become pretty popular, it didn't. Federation Force was released towards the end of its life, and a lot of people, I think, assumed it'd be bad, but I think it got pretty well reviewed, and I think a lot of people said it was fun. The problem is just that it's best with 3 other people, so there's not much to really do by yourself. It's a Triforce Heroes situation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but Metroid, that'd be interesting to think of what else they could do. I think I can't imagine, besides the genres we've already seen,
Half-Life style adventure
Samus
shooter.
doing something else, but
Metroid Prime.
that's basically Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
But is it first person?
Mm-hmm.
And okay.
Yeah. It's essentially Halo.
Well, gag me with a spoon.
What was it? Helldivers 1, like a top-down shooter.
Yeah.
As Metroid?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say though. Is I can't think of Samus being in any other genres. But if you're gonna continue with Federation Soldiers, make a Helldivers game. That'd totally work.
That'd be cool.
Lots of Metroids. Samus.
Oh my gosh. Doom, but Samus.
What's
that
she
would be
fighting?
So cool.
Space pirates.
This entire planet is overrun by Metroids.
Nathaniel, you have to finish Dread.
Metroid Samus's Revenge. Samus Revenge, and it's just her going to town on space pirates or something.
Well, you got to finish Dread. You have to see how that game ends.
I do. I have it. I'm gonna do it in a few months for the show. I have it scheduled.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good topic though, Nate. I like that. That's gonna keep me thinking all night, all week.
All week.
Yeah.
Huh. A lot of thinking. It hurts my brain to think.
All right, Brandon.
All right.
Awkward silences. All right. Mine is definitely hot button. I thought about it. So my idea was, let's discuss the general. Hi, Suki. How you doing? Let's talk about the decline in morality of American pop culture and entertainment in the last couple of decades.
What?
I think American pop culture and entertainment has become increasingly more debased and less wholesome as time goes on. And I
feel
think
like
it's
I don't
a problem.
know enough about this topic.
Pop culture and entertainment, Scott, is in music, movies, TV. Pop culture.
Okay. All right.
Entertainment. I think, when was the last time you heard of a song coming out that was mainstream, that was wholesome? I literally heard a song in the supermarket the other day about a girl getting it on with another girl. In a grocery store.
Okay.
Like, that would have been unheard of 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, also having like an F-bomb in a PG-13 movie would have been unheard of, and now that's normal, and you can get away with 1 and almost 2.
Yeah, it's completely just normalized. I think it's an issue. I think we have desensitized, especially young people, to just any kind of vulgarity or moral, like their morality is too muddied, is what I would say. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to put it.
Um, I see what you mean. I don't really know what I have to say about this. It's an interesting topic.
I don't know either. It was a hot button one. It should have been a hill to die on. I kind of tied in with yours. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
That is your hill to die on.
That's Brandon's hill to die on.
And but frankly,
There
I
we
think
go.
it's no, you're pretty good
Yeah,
on that.
I think it's
Anyway,
kind of just a bummer, you know. I think it's just an observation to make that yeah, there's just things that we would be more careful about in terms of putting this in a kids movie or this or that stuff that people just aren't really careful about anymore. And I don't
Yeah.
and yeah, I just think we should think twice about some of that stuff again. Yeah.
My headphones are getting yanked by my
Yep.
cat. She's
sorry, was I
decided
too
this is where
awkward
she's
there,
sitting now.
or did I kill the vibes? That one.
No,
That's just
it
the
took
hard.
me by
That's hard to
surprise.
talk about. There is both a lot and not a lot to say because it's pretty you put it pretty bluntly,
Oh, that's
like what the
that's what I
problem
do.
is. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I do.
and so
That's what I be doing.
the obvious answer is just do the opposite.
Yeah, but how do you convince everybody now? Because it's more than just like a Hollywood alone issue. It's like society has just accepted that this is okay to show children and behave this way. How do you how do you convince them? You know what I'm
I
saying? Like
I
this is
think
a
the only
problem and we
way
need to
to
address
convince
it.
someone to actually convince everyone or most people would just be scientific metrics of some sort. But the thing is, nobody's ever gonna fully agree with those metrics, or some people aren't gonna care about them. It's one of those things of there are some like you can't once you've opened Pandora's box, you can't put everything back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you don't know if we can go back per se because
No,
people have now that's just what they accept.
I think unless a bunch of people in positions of authority decided it would be better for them financially and publicly to ensure that what they make follows those more traditional standards, and then it becomes a case where everyone has to follow suit because all these other big people as part of a majority have made this choice for some reason, then I don't think we can really fully go back. I think we just understand that there will always be some people who do try to go back and some people that do uh, continue to make stuff with that in mind. I mean, you're always gonna have the Nintendos of the world. You're always gonna have guys like James Gunn per se, who not saying that he makes kids movies, but what he's doing with Superman is going, let's tell the original version of the character. Let's tell the story that's literally just about saving people and helping people. You're always gonna have um, people like that keep making what you want to see that used to be getting made 50 years ago, right? Um,
Yeah.
versus constantly seeing how far they can push the envelope. And it's not like it's bad to push the envelope in some areas, but in others, I just think there's no need, and you could certainly reel it back.
I yeah.
But I think the reality is that that it would be reeled back is very unlikely.
Which is just sad. Or at least I think it's sad.
Yeah.
I definitely killed the vibes on that one.
I don't think you killed the vibes. Well, maybe,
it's just a
but
serious.
Maybe
It's
a
just
little bit.
it's just a serious discussion.
It's serious. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, you know.
hills
If this
to die
podcast
on
is
about
anything,
funny
it's
things or
serious.
whatever.
All right.
Welcome to Serious Conversations on Our Broken Couch, Serious Edition, where we talk about serious stuff while
Conversations
Brandon
on a fixed
seriously
couch.
plays a serious game.
And
Yeah.
Siri is.
Hey Siri. Alexa.
Hey Siri. Alexa.
Hey Google.
Delete System 32.
Cortana.
Cortana.
Good job, Brandon.
Cortana. I have a manly voice.
When
can't
I was
do it.
driving down to Canada because I was listening to Halo audiobooks, I kid you not, I spent so many hours parroting lines back at the book in my best like Master Chief impression. Like I don't know if I could do it anymore, but I
That's
really
awesome.
for hours worked on that. It was a lot of fun.
That is cool though. Like, maybe I think it's cool just because I'm a nerd, but you know.
I think it's cool too.
They-
But I'm
sat
also
there
a nerd.
I sat there speaking like Master Chief for an hour in the car.
For a lot
Yeah,
more
man.
than that, because there was a lot of time
in a
traveling.
world where Master Chief and Cortana, where's Cortana? Cortana. Sorry, that's a yeah. And Cortana. And
Wow.
Cortana.
Okay, we've kind of lost the plot here, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I doodled a
Uh,
tiny Sonic the Hedgehog.
So
Hey Nate. And
What?
Cortana.
yeah, so we've gone through our topics. Before we wrap up, I'm just curious, how have your guys' D&D games been going?
Oh,
How's that been?
Brandon, you just started a new campaign.
The boys started session 1 of their new campaign. It takes place in my world, in the old kingdoms of Caduceus in the Dominion. And the war has just begun between the two kingdoms. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's interesting. So right now the boys, their campaign objectives are this. They are part of the group of people who did not go to war with the rest of the kingdom. Instead, they have been drafted into a league that protects the people by defeating monsters and local threats that would otherwise be a problem. Because there are
Cool.
no soldiers now to deal with it. So, that's, yeah. Their first, shoot, I'm trying to remember what their first objective was. I believe their first objective was, they had 3 options. Deal with a bunch of bandits outside of a town terrorizing people, deal with a den of goblins, or deal with an unknown monster that was making people disappear from a town at night. And they chose 2 of the 3 options because it's a typical D&D party. They can't just allow one. They have to have all 3 at the same time. Because, you know, that's how that works.
Cool.
But yeah,
man.
it went well. Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone had fun. Started a new campaign.
Yeah.
And they're all level 2, so they're very squishy.
Did your turtle show up?
Hey, level
He
2's a lot
did.
more squishy than level. I mean, level 2's a lot less squishy than level 1 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Dude.
Level 1 is you can't even breathe.
I'll tell you this, Scott, you'd be proud of me. One of the players, not the turtle, one of the players thought it'd be funny to say, I want to name my character Skibbity Sigma. Yeah.
Boy.
So my response to that was,
I know
I'll allow
exactly
you
who
to
it
name
was,
your
too.
character Skibbity Sigma if you take a permanent deduction to your HP.
I got rid of that real fast.
They actually considered it, which is the scary part.
Oh wow.
So I rolled. So they had like 15 total HP.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to roll a d12 to see how much HP you lose. So, you better hope I don't roll high. And I rolled an 11. So he would have had 4 HP at level 2.
Oh my gosh.
And that would have been his new max HP. I would have gone and overridden it in his character sheet.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, he changed his mind very quickly. He no longer wants to be Skibbity Riz whatever. Skibbity Sigma, that's what it was.
Yeah.
He no longer wants that. That's good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Brandon laying down
My
the law.
game.
I do that sometimes.
No, that's good. That's
Yeah.
You have grown as a DM in the last 3 years so much.
Well,
I miss your games so much. On top
I
of
miss your games so much.
I miss
you so much.
that. I miss you guys.
Guys, let's all get sappy and cry.
Bet. Let's do it. Fake tears.
Single tear goes
My
down
game.
my cheek.
We just we didn't just. It's been a couple weeks since we played last because life happens and everybody else is college students. We wrapped up what was essentially the prologue. It was only our third session.
Prologue.
Yeah. I'm running 3 separate campaign books, not modules, they're just adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And the core of it is Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which takes players from levels 1 to 5. I did a little bit of editing on it where I made it go from levels 2 to 7.
Okay.
And for the beginning of that adventure, I had what was essentially a session 0, which kind of became 3 sessions. It almost became 4. That
Sounds about right.
I took from the Dragonlance adventure, the Shadow of the Dragon Queen, I think it's called. I took that whole first chapter out of there and put it in front of Waterdeep, and it has them all. It has the players all meeting for the first time. It can kind of be loosey goosey, whether they all know each other or whether they're separate. But they all get to this fishing village because they got a letter that a mutual friend died, so they're going there for a funeral.
That's
and
very sad.
it blows up into this this event where this army comes out of the west or whatever, or the east, and is like sacking villages and burning towns. And they have to get out of this fishing village with the survivors of the town. And so I had it where they took all these refugees and they're heading down to Waterdeep, and that's where they're gonna start Dragon Heist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I fixed that, and then after all of that happens, I'm gonna have them go back into a Dragon Queen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been good so far. My players are having a good time.
Yeah.
Now that they're all assembled, the Avengers have assembled.
Yeah.
What a funky party I have, especially going into Dragon Heist, because I've run Dragon Heist a couple times.
Yeah.
So this is it's pretty close actually.
4 times.
It's more like I run it twice and then I've tried to do it 2 more times, but it never.
Another
really
3 times. I think it'd be 3 times.
I did it once. No, it might be 3. You're right. It's one of those 3 or 4. I never really got very far if I tried to do it again.
You run it at minimum 15 times.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where did my thought go? Yeah, so
sorry.
It's a hard game to have a druid and a ranger in because it's an urban environment. It's all city stuff. I have both a druid and a ranger in this party, so I'm gonna have to get creative, and I think I know how I can do it. But yeah, it's fun, and we're gonna play again this Sunday, maybe, depending on if my brother-in-law wants to play with us. and that's going to be its own
Wait,
interesting
what?
struggle.
What are the class compositions of your party? I'm just curious.
I have a rogue,
Okay.
a sorcerer,
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty good so far.
cleric.
Okay.
Have
We're
my
a really good
cleric in
party
there.
so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the druid and the ranger.
Oh.
All right.
It's not a bad party. It's a good
The
party.
druid and the ranger,
Composition is great.
the two classes the least equipped for Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Yes.
Are you ready for this, Scott? You're gonna
Go
laugh.
for it. Let's hear yours.
I have 2 or 3 barbarians.
Oh my gosh.
I have 2 or 3 rogues, multi-classing.
Okay.
I have no paladins. I have no rangers. I have a fighter. I have a bard. And I think I have 1 cleric. And then a druid.
Hey,
top
at least
of
you
all
got
of it.
those healers in there.
Yeah. Bard, cleric, druid. There you go.
But I have 2 players who are barbarians. One is a bard barbarian.
Barbarian? Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
He's a barbarian.
Nice.
Barbarian. Yeah.
Barbarian.
A barbarian, yeah. And then it's just so goofy to me. It's so funny. And then I have another one who's I think they're a barbarian rogue.
Wow.
At all.
Barbarian rogue. It works. You can do it.
Sneak.
You can.
Oh, because if you have a
It's
reckless
interesting.
attack advantage, you add sneak attack? Dude.
Something like
That's
that.
actually.
get
Oh,
sneak
but you
attack
need
with a great
finesse
weapon.
weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could
But
still be
you
cool.
can
though.
still you can
can
still
make it
use
work.
like a rapier or
Yeah.
a short sword as a
Get-
barbarian
you
and still get the
rage-
rage buff and
You
the sneak attack
rage,
buff.
you use reckless attack, you get sneak attack, but you gotta use a dex weapon, so you get a high dex, you don't need high strength, and then you raise your con.
Yeah.
There you go. Got a clean house. You probably
Okay,
only
now-
level barbarian to brutal critical, and then just push
Mhm.
rogue the rest of the way.
Yeah.
This player does not have your knowledge of the game, Nathaniel. So this player is doing it for the memes.
All right, guys. So any final thoughts as we wrap it up?
Peanut butter and salami burritos are the best.
You need to, that is a hill you better not die on.
Oh. That is a pen.
Everyone,
Yeah, we should wrap this up so I can take this pen from my cat.
go take it. Thank you for the conversation, gentlemen. This was
Yeah.
much more natural and smooth in the last few weeks, I'll say.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we're getting there.
We're
We're
getting
getting to the point
We're
where it's
getting there.
becoming more fluid,
Yeah, it's more like our old conversations on the broken couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being online's a different medium. We're getting used to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, or listening, watching or listening.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good day. God bless, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.